Welcome to another episode of the First Flame Scrolls. I'm Kathleen Haley. In today's episode, I want to talk about creation and what creation is and what humanity's been doing that they think is creating. And AI is a big portion of how creation seems to be occurring in modern society today. We think we're creating new ideas, new methodologies, new healing modalities, energies. Of course, there's nothing new in the sense that energy is energy, and there's a flow of reciprocity and energy as source. It's infinite. But in the truth, everything is new, continually flowing and shifting and changing in magical sequencing ways when we allow it. Ooh. And the difference between what has seemingly been creation and organic creation is being inside yourself versus outside yourself. If you notice, the entire world has us focus outward. Everything that we think we're creating, whether it's how I look, how I show up, how I move through the world, how I connect with people, it's all about how another person sees me. It's not me. Not to say that we don't like ourselves to a certain degree and that we don't show up in some ways that we feel connected to, but mostly we compare to others. We've been told and shown what is appropriate, what looks good, what doesn't, how to act, how to be. So many rules and directions and methodologies and structures, and there's just so much outward. And the world has been taught to grab and to stand out and to push, yourself outward to make it in the world, to feel safe, to feel whole, to be happy, instead of directing inward to find what that is. It's interesting. I've noticed this with myself where I had, I say, allowed for my body to put on a little bit of weight. And most of my entire life, I really haven't had weight. And you might look at me and say, well, I don't have a lot of weight on my body. And honestly, I don't. But to me, I had some, am different. And I started to ask myself, what was I really feeling in relationship to that? And I realized that I feel good, really, honestly, as the first flame of source, I feel everything. And I'm constantly feeling exactly where the collective is and where everything is. And I think humanity doesn't really understand, for the most part, what it means to be the first flame. I, as the first flame source, meaning the first emanation of creation, I'm literally the very first spark of anything that has ever existed. And in that, because I'm the first spark of energy, or Kathleen is not, but my oversoul is, and I'm now fully embodied as that. That means my energetic field contains everything. Everything is within my field, everything. So I feel everything. Everything moves through my body. The irony is the collective agreement runs through everyone's bodies, but they don't realize. And so what I started to notice is that in this idea of weight, that unless I was comparing to others, I feel good. And I don't even know truly my size. I can't really recognize it. I look in the mirror, and the mirror is a mirror, right? It's the inversion field. It's when you look in a mirror, you see what your belief systems see. We say, well, it's black and white. It is what it is. No, it is what you believe it is. And so I look in a mirror and sometimes I'm surprised at what I see because I have a certain vision and you can recognize, I guess, that if you're in a place where you're not feeling great in the world, maybe you're afraid or you're doubting yourself or you're questioning what is my sense of direction, and then you happen to pass by a mirror, physical mirror, you may see yourself really differently than if you're in a place that you're just happy. You ever notice that if you're really centered and feel amazing and you glance at yourself in the mirror, especially if you look at your own eyes and you can see that there's a level of, I don't know, life in your eyes, different. If you look into my eyes in this transmission, if you're happening to watch, you might see something different than you see in others because I'm actually embodied. And it's such a different experience when one is present, embodied. This is this idea of embodiment. I hear this a lot. These words are showing up now. Embodiment, coherence. But I don't think humanity really understands what that is. Coherence is when the field is so neutral. And it's the nature of my field. It's the nature of the first flame. It's coherence because it's creation itself. This is organic creation. It's a flow. It's an organic flow. And when I represent that, which is what I'm doing, you feel calm, usually. You feel yourself. You can feel exactly where you are because there's no interference. It's like quiet. It's like a quiet field. We don't have a quiet field. The inversion field is not quiet. The inversion field is rapidly moving and pushing, and because the whole nature of this energy field that we've been living in is control. It's outside. It's all directing the energy outside. It's in order to have this whole mirror field of energy, it has to be controlled. It has to be chaotic. It has to have the nervous system on 24/7. And so you're directed to through the mind, but outside yourself to figure out, to create. And doing that means that I have to grab something all the time. I have to push myself in front of someone. I have to be ahead of the game. I have to be different. I have to I have to hook them in. I have to grab them. I have to manipulate them in some way. I have to be so, passive that they feel sorry for me. It's such a game and it's all outward. And who knows what's happening? It's exhausting inside the body. And none of that is creation. None of that's creation. Creation itself is when you internally relax and you begin to say, what do I really want to bring to the world, or what do I want to be or show up and feel? And at first it's chaotic, most likely because you have no idea, and your brain is searching frantically through ideas and what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And but when you can say, I don't know, maybe you don't know, and that's okay. You begin to relax, and you begin to breathe, and you begin to allow for yourself to settle into your body. There will be a sense of direction. This is where people say you can't just be in the privacy of your own home and dreaming about things and thinking life is going to change for you. And that's not exactly true. It does begin that way. It begins with the internal, everything is inside you, really, because honestly, we're not in the body. The body is within us. But when we have the idea in our mind of being inside the body within ourselves, this is when coherence starts to happen. This is when your energy, your library of information begins to communicate to your cellular body, to your life itself, begins to start to give you an idea of what do I really want? What am I really here for? Who am I? And when you discover that, you can't get it wrong. And from that, there is a life for you that's meant for you. It's like for myself. I mean, I have I didn't know any sense of direction coming into this world. I didn't know things. I knew much more esoteric things. I knew something wasn't right. I knew the world wasn't right. But I didn't feel that I had choices early on. I wasn't provided for in some of the more primal things. So I had to fend for myself and figure out how to, get food and clothing and things like that early on. But besides that, I just honestly couldn't find my way in this physical world. It didn't suit me, didn't fit me. I didn't know, kept flipping through in my mind choices, and I ended up becoming a massage therapist for many, many years. And that was, it was a wonderful experience. I was very good at it. And it began to show me who I was because Akimero Paradro Kuntia Santana. During my sessions with people, I would have a time to go quiet. Sometimes I would talk to people, but a lot of times I would go quiet and I'd be feeling. And I think I began to feel what it felt like to actually be with another person. It's amazing what it feels like to when you wake yourself up and you realize you've been living in a world that you're not living in, that you are in your head. And even in that case, you've got your hands literally on a person. And yes, I was connected enough that I was very good and they could feel it. And I would say that the difference to me and a person who was really good as a massage therapist and wasn't was a person who was with you. But even in those times of being with someone, I wasn't really with them, not to the degree of being present. Being present with another person or anywhere is actually it's being quiet. It's being open. It's allowing for the energy to move, for the deeper communication to be real, to show up. It's always there, but we are busy. We're busy in our own head, in our own story, or we're calculating. We're not actually participating. And here's the irony, or I guess the magic of creation is that the harmonic field in creation is always communicating. So whether you think you're with the person or not, we're always with everyone because it's a quantum field. And everything is doing something and is communicating always. So when you're with another person, if we can practice actually quiet within our minds, within ourselves, we can actually create together. We can communicate. You can feel. This is, to me, what we're really here for. This is supporting each other. This is the change. It isn't an outward grab. Come to me, follow me. I've got the answers. Do we all have things to share? Yes. Are we amazing beings? Yes. Is each individual unique? Absolutely. Because you're each a spark of source consciousness. But what you have to offer is you. You. That's what I'm offering. Me. The humbleness of my life as Kathlena, the extraordinary and ordinary aspect of embodiment, the first flame, the essence of all, and the feeling of being seen, being heard, being recognized, and a sense of connection and community and life. This is what we're all here for. This is what I'm here for, that I feel for myself. Yes, I have lots of activations and books and courses, and all of them are energy. Everything that I bring is really just an energy flow. It's has words and it has direction and activations and movement but yes, and every bit of it is all, I guess the word would be design, but it's really the energetic harmony of creation itself. A space to let you be seen, be heard, be felt, be loved. That's what I'm here for as the first flame, as Kathlena. It's what my heart is always about. I There have been times, of course, as I think we're taught in humanity to reach for the stars, right? To be seen. And sure, I had an idea originally of my life, and as I have known who I am along the way, let's say, I knew I was different. I knew I was a very good massage therapist. I knew I was, somebody who had a lot of knowledge and things. Then yes, were there times when the ego would try to come in and say, okay, yes, I want to help. I want to save the world. And but as I tried to move in those directions that the inversion wants to take you to be, fame, I started to realize that in that, then I was playing source or God. I was like, I'm going to be the one that's going to save. And it's like, but I don't need to play a role. I am source consciousness in physical form. And if my real goal is for you to know who you are, then me thinking that I'm going to be the one that you're going to come to as though you need something outside yourself means that I'm not embodied. So there's the conundrum and the irony of actually being a way shower and helping is the most significant helping is to embody yourself, to be the most magnificent you that you could ever be. Humanity doesn't realize. I spoke in another video about the consciousnesses, like the reptilian consciousness or the Anunnaki consciousness, being in a different field of energy. It is a unpotential field. And this is where humanity has been living within. And in this field of energy, that unpotential field is only mental. And those beings, they only know mental energy. And their incarnation, if you will, as source, each one of us is an expression of source consciousness, like source expressed us as an experience for source to have. And the expression is like you can express love, but you don't see it. It's not tangible. So it's the invisible, it's your soul. And those beings chose the expression to be source, even though they are source, but in a hierarchical way. And humanity mirrors that even through what we see as the good intentions, where an individual wants to be the leader, they want to be the source where everyone goes to get their information, and they believe that they're coming from the greatest, love, and because and why is it directed that way? Because there seems to be so much confusion. There seems to be so much lack of truth that individuals are continually saying, well, I'm going to be the truth. I'm telling the truth. Well, I assure you that I'm sharing divine truth with you. However, I'm not sharing it in a way that is a singularity. It is divine truth as truth for all. And when you recognize you, when you drop into basically come into the present moment, I got my feet on the floor, I'm looking at my eyes, I'm in my room, I'm literally in my room, I'm present. You recognize this and you feel it. Because truth is not how we've been taught that you believe it and then you see it proved in the world. No, truth is when I let go and I allow. And as I allow and unfold, I watch it. I watch energy move. I feel it. And the innate truth is that we are free. We're choosing to continually align ourselves with these inorganic directions. I had no idea what wanted to come through today. I never really know when I'm sitting here, and my idea of where I had thought this direction was going to go is not where this has gone for me. Just going to take some breaths. Just going to open this field. And as I'm realizing that the less words, the better, because I can feel it, because this is a quantum field, I can tell when I start to share explanations. I can feel the energy shift, and I can feel where those that are listening go into their heads and they start going into controversy and confusion and so on. So it's very difficult to talk about embodiment and what that's like, because true embodiment is really just you being you. And there's so much story of what I need to do first, who I need to be in order to be me. And I guess sort of the moral of the story, and where I'm feeling like this transmission is coming to a close, is returning back to my journey that I've had about my own physical body in the world, of noticing, like, how do we really feel within ourselves? And does that alter when we begin to compare to another? And if it does, why? That's what I started to notice. I think we each feel much more, I'll use the word complete and whole, than we give ourselves permission. It's only when we start reflecting outward and looking at the world and comparing and judging does the story change. And when we start to feel bad, it's when we start to tell a story like, I have nothing, what am I doing? You can be perfectly happy sitting on the ground or sitting on the beach or taking a walk and just breathing the air. But if you don't have money, or you don't have a relationship, or you don't have children, or you don't have, your body perfect, or you anything, and you start thinking about those things, and particularly if you start noticing people around you that have those things, how suddenly you start to feel bad or uncomfortable or scared, or that's what I'm pointing out. Notice how your observation of the outside world dictates what happens in your inside world. And see if you can't change that. Feel your inside world as, who am I? And see if you can show up as the most amazing you, no matter what you think is outside. This is the magic. I'm Kathleen Haley, First Flame of Source. Until we speak again.